All right, we're just waiting on those drop ships to arrive. As soon as they do, we will be able to take a look at what mechs they're bringing in to Tourmaline Desert. I love that we can see chat in there. Just a reminder to all the teams, we of course can see your chat now, so keep it respectful. So far, everybody's been fantastic to each other.
Or at least keep it interesting.
Or at least keep it interesting, but know that we can see your chat, and that you should definitely be awesome to each other. So Dropship 5 coming in with dual summoners on the Alpha Lance. I would not be surprised to see some PPC action right off the bat. They're actually backing up to get into the backfield. Some awesome jump jets coming up over the top, dropping some early shots.
Summoner trades, PPCs right off the beginning.
So we've got Summoners and the Battle Masters stepping up from Alpha Lance, taking some early shots in. Looks like just scratch in on both teams. Nothing significant so far, but a hard push from those Summoners going really wide. It's almost going Summoners to Summoners.
For Osiris are going to Epsilon.
Summoners are the new lights, but we have something going on at Kappa here. Dual Wolfhounds for D5 getting chased off by Ghost and Dogmeat. And I don't think those machine guns are actually reaching their target. It might be fire for effect just to chase them off. But the cap point has been won by Osiris. Just has to be careful that he doesn't over push and get caught out. Little bit of scratch coming in from the Spire. We've got a Hunchback 2C with what looks like ER large lasers putting in some scratch. 77% on that Wolfhound. So pretty good victory there by Osiris, at least in the light fight. Good way to start against Dropship 5, but this is a very, very spread strat here. Those two Summoners holding all the way up by Epsilon. They have not had the opportunity to take it yet, but they're starting to do some work here. Working on Matt, who's up in the high ground. This is a pretty damn good position for Matt here. But those,
yeah, I like this spot for Matt. He's barely exposing with those torso-mounted PPCs.
He is, but the ER larges are able to, you know, if Matt misses, he's doing 0 damage. These ER larges at least can do some scratch at range. Looks like we got a strike coming out here. I don't know if Reckless sees it, and he gets hit right across the bow. Great strike coming in from probably Odin's or Snapstyle. And it looks like the other strike just fell right between them. So good dodge there by Dropship 5.
Matt's doing a pretty good job with these PPCs, though.
So airlock going really wide now, heading all the way over to the dropship. This is such an aggressive, just twist strat. Heading out the side. Matt takes a sidestep from that airstrike.
Matt's got a lot of focus with those ER larges, though.
Yeah, he's getting scratched down a little bit, though. He's definitely displaying himself, but it looks like he's going to get some help by Blaketown, who just takes an airstrike down to 84%. In terms of percentages so far, Blaketown and Matt taking the worst of it for Dropship 5. Reckless is at 78 for Osiris, but it looks like Kipper's starting to get aggressive. They've actually dropped Matt down and are starting to siphon them off to the side here. Where are the rest? Where are the lights? Okay, well, we got the Battle Masters and the Hunchback. Okay, they went back for Sigma, so a 2-cap in favor of Osiris. And they have control of Epsilon, but they can't cap it because it's kind of being watched. But at least they have the region. Looks like Matt's going to go up for another peek. He wants that position back. He's not giving it up so easily. Oh, I forgot the pip. Let me get the pip going.
Oh, man, and I'm doing all this work for nothing.
Yeah, well, we got the pip going now. Let's see. All right. So, ooh, nice strike over airlock there at the dropship. Looks like that was dropped by Matt. Nice strike right back into Matt.
Matt takes a strike back in return.
Down to 70%, so a lot of trading back and forth. Airlock now attempting to cap Epsilon, but Kappa now is being caught. They've taken Epsilon. Ziaz in the Stormcrows kind of working that Cheetah and that Wolf Hound out of the way, but it looks like Kappa is going to fall to Charlemagne and Navid. Just scratch
Matt is
back
doing one heck of a
job.
job.
Is that streaks? Is Ziaz using
now.
streaks? Let me see what he's got on him. What are you on? Oh, there. He's got streaks. Yep, he's got streaks. He's putting those streaks to use against Dogmeat, but this is He's getting some good damage in on this Stormcrow. Those streaks aren't doing as well as he'd hoped. Now, there's some good hits on Dogmeat, but Ghost is coming in hard on that Stormcrow, but those other two lights are there. They got to be careful. Ziaz is being left against that Arctic Cheetah, but Odinsteed coming into the rescue in that Hunchback 2C, and he's able to save Ziaz and work Ghost off, but Charlemagne now has to be careful. I guess they're going to get... Oh, Ghost gets lagged. The Arctic Cheetah is lagged, and he's going to be taken out. Ziaz with those streaks just keeping that onslaught of missiles going in pretty constantly here. But it looks like we got some mechs starting to put some shots in from the hoop. They still have to take Ghost out. He's still a threat. They can't leave him alone, but there he goes. Those streaks finally able to finish him off. They did get some damage in on that Stormcrow. It looks like they have some streaks of their own. Is Wildfire using streaks as well? Yeah, a Streaks SRM6 Hunchback 2CB. But, yeah, it's streak fight for sure. Now, when all of that's going on, looks like Airlock has won Matt's former position. Matt's pulled out at 55%. They're starting to work that flank, turn the flank. Cap's still in favor of Osiris. Kipper's down low. He might be able to get some shots in at Matt here. He takes some himself. Oh, just an onslaught of PPCs. That was not a good trade.
Matt has lost one of his PPCs, though. He lost his right rear torso.
This is definitely where the action is going on here. Is Airlock going to be able to help him? They've all shifted out, but does he have a sight line? He's not. So Kippers is playing a little bit safer now. That is a bad firing line for him. Reckless and Cafe kind of sitting out in the open right now, but they're still getting some burn in. Reckless moving up. Looks like Charlemagne and the Wolfhound. We got this light coming around. He might be able to stir some stuff up behind Kippers here. Let's see if he can get in and do some work. Kippers does not know he's there.
But he just got information from his teammate.
He did. So the two Wolfhounds now are trying to turn the left flank of Osiris. 324 to 274 on the tickets. A lot of damage going back and forth. The Battle Masters, I think, are going to be pretty key here, as well as the lights, of course. Theta still remains uncontested, but at any point, it looks to me like Dogmeat might be able to go run and grab Theta. But looks like we got a movement from Dropship 5. They're now moving up the right flank, taking that high ground. Matt down to 40% now. We got a strike coming in. Oh, 31%, 9% on that strike. Very, very solid hit. Let's see where he's at. Center torso one shot for Matt in that summoner. Reckless is down to 58%. Still a lot of just damage going back and forth. Who's up on top? Is it still Airlock? He's going to take that high ground yet again. He's been touring quite a bit, doing a lot of running around. If everyone can keep their lights safe, though, that's still going to be pretty key for this battle. Even though the tickets are in favor of Osiris, it's been a 2-2 cap, so they're not really pulling ahead any further than they already are. Eventually, Dropship 5 is going to have to flip a cap, but it could happen way late game after a lot of killing is going to be done. Warhawk Snap Style getting hit by both an Artie Strike and streaks from Wildfire, down to 70%. Pretty nasty trade, but looks like Dropship 5 heading up to the top. Matt goes down.
They're making a move.
They're making a move, but they have lost Matt. Airlock needs to haul ass because he's going to get caught out and have no help. I think he saw them coming, but Charlemagne in that Wolfhound is coming in full bore.
Charlemagne's playing it a little close.
Charlemagne could have gone a little bit aggressive and could have taken him out, but Airlock is actually getting away with this.
Yeah, Airlock got away.
So they've all balled up in that corner, but they didn't really get much out of it. Airlock is able to put some shots in on the guys across the way, but is able to rejoin his team.
Those Wolfhounds weren't really helpful at that point by being not aggressive there.
Reckless, the Battlemaster 2C, has been taking quite a bit of damage, down to 48%, but he's still putting it out as well. This has just been such a back-and-forth fight. A lot of people moving back and forth, but the two guys on the high end here, the Stormcrow and the Summoner, both critical. And Kippers takes out Ziaz. That Streak Stormcrow is down. Dogmeat takes out Blake down. So 3 dead for Dropship 5, but only Ghost in that Arctic Cheetah down for Osiris. And I think they're going to start being a little bit more aggressive now that they're up on kills. This could be a snowball right here. They just have to be careful, because if they go too aggressive, it might cost them. They're trading into the guys that are up on rafters. A pretty fresh Warhawk, Brother Tibber, but he's going to have some company soon. It looks like Dogmeat in that Wolfhound coming up to say hello, and it's going to be Warhawk versus Wolfhound, but I think Dogmeat is going to continue being tricky. Now, Theta has flipped in favor of Dropship 5, but I think that was more of a desperation move. The two Wolfhounds now going to maybe go cap something else, but Wildfire is going to attempt to flip Theta back. Odin Steed down to 43% against the Streak Hunchback. I'd say that this fight might... Oh, Odin Steed self-destructs. He gets taken out.
Dogmeat on the Warhawk.
4 mechs remaining for Dropship 5. The Theta has been neutralized, so Cap's still in favor of Osiris. Dogmeat not doing too well, though. Those PPCs are definitely doing some damage. He's down to 24%. Brother Tibber doing a fantastic job, but if he's going to be the last one left, that's going to be pretty savage. Airlock takes out Snap Style. Brother Tibber does get Dogmeat, but 3 mechs only remaining for Dropship 5. Navid in that Wolfhound, they need to keep him fresh or maybe send him out for caps. It's late enough game that maybe if they can get caps, they can pull something, but he's not going to win a fight against
this. He just got lagged.
Oh, Navid is going to be taken out. Great PPC work by Airlock, and he is not long for this world. We've got Charlemagne at 23% in the Wolfhound. They're sticking around. They're going to try and win this fight. Not exactly the worst thing, but I don't know if they can.
Oh, the Battlemaster's overheated.
Oh, Cafe is paying for it, but he should be able to finish off Navid here. Right torso on the Battlemaster, and he'll be sticking. He gets taken down. Navid at 17% in the Wolfhound, able to take him down, and this is actually starting to flip a little bit here. 3 cap for Osiris, though. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull this off.
They're going to be able to pull it off, even if they get the kills.
Brother Tibber coming in full bore. Navid gets taken out. It's all up to Brother Tibber. He's coming in full bore with these PPCs, probably fresh on the heat, but they're going to start scattering now just to ensure that they can keep their mechs alive.
He's not getting the good shots in on that Hunchback.
This Warhawk is not going to be able to counter cap fast enough to flip it, and the Wolverine climbs away. And with him, the hopes of Brother Tibber being able to flip the caps back in time. And this one is going to go in favor of Osiris in drop 1. Brother Tibber just a little slow to the approach
here, and he's not going to be able to get to Theta in time. Flip that. And
everything at this point is the battle has been decided. This is going in favor of Osiris. Brother Tibber just getting a little bit late to the party because of that Wolfhound going up to meet him. What an exciting match! 7 to 5 in favor of Osiris. What a fantastic battle.
My goodness, look at Kipper's score.
Oh, man. 8-11 for Kippers in that Summoner. 668 from Airlock. They worked that left flank that entire time. They did a fantastic job just robbing D5 of that position. They lost Ghost really early on to that Streak mech, 197 though. But 704 coming out of Brother Tibber, but it just wasn't enough. And when
the other Warhawk 667, I mean, there was a ton of damage out in that game.
Definitely.
By both teams, really.
Definitely. And that got a lot closer at the end than I thought it would, but some bad overheats and some really good aim from Osiris, or from D5, able to start making it a lot closer right at the end.
Yeah, Navid killing that Battlemaster when he was not quite fresh, but only had 1 open torso. That was big. And
Navid was at 17% when he killed that Battlemaster. What an insane battle. But this was an extremely, extremely spread match on Tourmaline Desert. I'm going to go right to the map on this one. Oop, let's do map. Right to the map. So right off the bat, we've got Alpha Lance taking a fadeaway PPC shot across the way here at the opposite Alpha Lance. We had 4 spawns in Alpha for Osiris. Now they sent their 2 Battlemasters right up to the trade point, but then they sent their summoners deep into Epsilon and essentially traded from dropship at Epsilon right here into Matt, who those 2 fadeaway summoners, Matt went up into C4, and I think they had the other one fade a little bit short, and those guys just went summoner against summoner pretty much that entire time.
And I think Matt was doing a good job, but he didn't have a lot of support from his team, because at Alpha Lance was that Battlemaster kind of acting as scratch damage the whole time he's trying to trade with the Battlemaster, and he's got the summoners over there. And you kind of had to wonder, where was his support for that engagement for the early part of the match?
Well, we had guys sitting up, I think, all the way up here near Bravo Lance from that high position. We had guys down near stage, but then, of course, we had the lights come in to Kappa's side and then ultimately get flushed out by the two lights charging in, the two Wolfhounds here charging in, basically flushing out and winning Kappa early on. But an extremely spread map. And it was just a lot of people trading one-on-one pretty much. But then at the same time, a lot of crossfires, because there's a lot of guys sitting like right here that were trading across to Epsilon anytime they had the opportunity. So a lot of crossfires, even trades in through here. We had trades in through here. One of the things that I think kind of added up is Matt really had a good position, and I think it worked well for him, but the battle went so long that while he was landing some of his PPC shots, at the same time, every single time he peaked, he got minor scratch in on him from the ER large lasers from those Battle Masters. And I just think that, well, the pinpoint front-loaded damage of the PPCs is fantastic. If you're not hitting every shot, and they're hitting you with a little bit every single shot, it adds up really quickly.
And here we go with the map ban.
Canyon
D5 banning Cannon.
Mining Collective. We might end up right back on Tourmaline again. Dropship 5 coming in. They ban HPG. We might see Polar ban
Osiris
right here.
gets to pick.
Osiris probably feeling pretty good about that victory on Tourmaline.
Yeah.
They might want to stick with it, and they in fact
And they do.
So the teams are swapped, but we are going right back into Tourmaline Desert. But a lot of crossfires. We saw a lot of give and take too. Airlock repeatedly going up here and then getting pushed down again, and then going back up here and then getting pushed down again. A lot of back and forth. We saw his other summoner get pushed down into the D4 side. We saw a lot of ebb and flow of these guys moving up, moving down, moving up, moving down. Just a lot of back and forth as people tried to fish each other out. We had a little bit of scratch in from a Wolfhound who got an angle at the other summoner. What was his name? Sorry. I keep calling him the other summoner, but I should probably actually give him a name. Was it...
Which one? Kippers?
Was it Kippers?
Kippers was in a summoner.
Okay, so it was Kippers and Matt were the summoners. So Kippers...
Oh, no. Kippers was Osiris.
Oh, or...
You're talking about...
No, you're right. You're right. It was Kippers and Airlock, right?
Kippers and Airlock were Osiris. Yeah.
So
Matt
Kippers got kind of scratched by the Wolfhound, but somebody fired across because Kippers looked like he didn't know the Wolfhound was coming, or he was turning his
Battle
arm.
Master.
Yeah, the Battlemaster
Battlemaster saw the Wolfhound, fired across, and obviously in comms you're passing that information along.
And the
summoner on your butt.
The summoner could have been turning his arm to that Wolfhound. It was either he was turning his arm or he didn't know he's in there. But the shot in from the Battlemasters got that Wolfhound to duck back down. A lot more damage could have probably been dealt by that Wolfhound, but he lost the opportunity because of the heads-up play by that Battlemaster. And ultimately, just they continued to work, and then you had the Warhawk up here on rafters, and he gets run up on by a Wolfhound, and so that Wolfhound was able to tie him up for so long. Ultimately, the Wolfhound lost his life in that battle, but was able to keep those PPCs at bay, keep them silenced, while the rest of Osiris was able to go in and do some work. So drop one, in a lot of people's opinion here, kind of an upset, I think. I mean, Osiris and D5, both very good teams, but I think you'd be silly not to say D5 was favored in this one. But that wouldn't be the first time we've seen that. I mean, the RJF versus Eon Synergy drop one going in favor of RJF was a bit of an upset as well. So going into drop 2, we'll have to see, is Dropship 5 going to utilize this new side of the map to try and leverage a win, or are they just going to try and just trade better and not get outflanked and not lose light fights? You know, who knows? We might see this come back and be an equal 1-1 series at the end of this. It would not surprise me one bit.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, what do you do a little bit better there in that drop? It kind of felt like early on maybe they weren't as aggressive as they needed to be. Then they maybe were a little too aggressive, back and forth. There was so much happening in that map that I'm not sure I can pinpoint like this moment right here. This is where it all changed. The Wolfhound peeking up at the end on the on the Warhawk was a good move, and you're right, it distracted it. But was that what really flipped the match?
It's hard to say, though.
Point,
it was really a culmination of a lot of stuff that happened that whole time. Just the trades that you saw, people getting really worn down, and then the bad overheats start up, and but it just really, as everybody's got their mechs basically in shambles, that one good shot, that one aggressive peak at the right time can really turn the tide of battle. And it's really hard to pinpoint exactly when that was. But both teams, I think, were doing a really good job trading. I just wonder if maybe those Battle Masters roll in ER large for the length of time that battle lasted.
Yeah, the length of time really helps them.
You know, I really think those Battle Masters, they added up. They really did. Both teams getting readied up will be launching shortly into Drop 2. Osiris taking Drop 1 over Dropship 5. Very exciting matchup, but we'll be heading into Drop 2 yet again on Tourmaline Desert. And both teams are ready. We should be heading in shortly. And here we go. So teams have swapped sides. We'll have to see how they set themselves up. We won't know until we get in.
Osiris up 1-0 right now. D5 needing the win to stay in the winner's bracket of this tournament.
Yep, they will not be knocked out if they lose this one. They will move down into the loser's bracket and have one more opportunity to stay alive. But I think the winner of this one, are they going up to play? Let me look at the bracket real quick, just so I'm not too crazy here. Winner of this one is going up to play TCAF, so Tikhonov Commonality. So one of the things that I find extremely interesting, though, about the way that this one is set up is simply that instead of having regional finals like we did last season, we've got a combined semifinal. So we're going to be seeing a lot of instances where there's going to be a North American team playing a European team or playing an Oceanic team. And that's going to be incredibly exciting.
It's something you don't normally get in competitive play. So it's, everyone likes to have the debates, which region's better, who's got the better teams. Early trades right off the bat on this light mech. Brother Tibber and some of the D5 mechs looks like they were getting some shots in. Was that a Wolfhound running across?
Yeah, Dogmeat and the Wolfhound down to 82%. Airlock and Kipper's doing a very familiar fadeaway PPC shot, almost mimicking exactly what Dropship 5 did. Dropship 5, instead of running their summoners all the way up through to Epsilon, though, they're keeping them relatively back for some early trades. They've got Warhawks, again, Brother Tibber and Snapstyle and the Warhawks. Do they have the Battle Masters in use on Osiris? Yes, they do. And Reckless just now starting to get up to the fight. They also have Cafangst in a Supernova. So I think that was a little bit of a trade up there because they were both in Battle Masters prior, weren't they? Maybe.
Yeah, 2 Battle Masters.
Maybe anticipating a little bit more rangy fight here against Dropship 5, opting for the Supernova. Let's see what his build is. Probably the 6 ER large, 5 ER large lasers, but he's still going to pump quite a bit of range out with that Supernova if he can get those shots on target. Caps are 2-1 in favor of Dropship 5. They do have Theta. They sneak to cap on Theta and say they can comfortably send Navid off to get Kappa, and that's going to be a pretty sticky situation for Osiris in terms of caps. They might be forced to be aggressive. Matt, in his summoner on the left side, those ER larges are starting to add up on him, and he's forced down into a lower ground, down to 83%. And he's actually getting contacted by Airlock in that summoner as he retreats. So not a positive trade for Matt there. Some good strikes going downfield, though, from the Warhawks into Kippers, down to 90%.
Just for those people
More
who
strikes
might be
coming out.
watching in Pip,
Oof.
some of these players playing with heat vision on, that is definitely a strategy to use because it allows you to see the relatively cooler mechs in the distance of this map.
Yeah, they silhouette as black, and they become a lot easier to see as opposed to trying to utilize vision against the camouflage. So I do it too. It's blinding. It's definitely blinding. You don't really see features all that well, but when you're actually trying to make contact with mechs, having a nice black silhouette to shoot at is definitely possible. But they landed some good strikes on the Battlemaster there, and the, well, Kippers and the Summoner down to 75%, but this Alpha Lance group just kind of balling up now, trying to get their shots downfield, get their strikes downfield. Supernova,
that was a good strike,
down to 81%. Oh, another good strike right across Cafe. He's down to 80%, and that's starting to add up against him. Caps are now even. Well, no, they're not. They finally got Epsilon, but Caps actually still very in favor of Dropship 5. Here comes another strike. This might be an arty strike right on top of Brother Tibber. He's continuing to take hits, down to 57%. Snap Style backed out of it, but Tibber took the brunt of it, down to 58%. The Cap situation, Osiris is flipping Kappa finally, so now they are 3-2. That could add up if they roll on that for a while, but it's going to be very difficult for Dogmeat and Ghost and Wildfire, who I believe is the streak boat, to maintain Kappa. They are being watched by Navid and Charlemagne here, just kind of keeping them at bay. But if they decide to go in hard, they might run right into that Hunchback 2C, which could happen here. I don't think they know where each other are.
A lot of damage right now.
Charlemagne is walking right at that streak boat. I don't think he knows he's there. They might end up getting pincered here. They're approaching Dogmeat at Kappa. Charlemagne definitely keeping a wide berth, though. They have their streak boat as well, or actually it's a Nova now.
Missile warning, he just found out.
No, man, that Nova right in the face of the streak boat. Ghost and Wildfire are working on Zayas, but he's getting hit by that pinpoint front-loaded small ER small lasers, and he takes him out.
Man,
that Nova able to work down that streak boat. Zayas is keeping on Ghost, tracing him out, but he should be able to get away. Charlemagne down to 44%, getting hit by Dogmeat, who is in relative safety here with the medium pulses. Those Wolfhounds do not have jump jets, so they can't easily climb up to counter him, so it's a very good position there. But losing that Hunchback 2C is definitely costly for Osiris, especially in keeping those lights at bay. Dogmeat, thinking that they're going to go take Kappa, he wants to keep them from getting it. They know the importance of the Cap, so Dogmeat is over here, knowing now that they don't have a streak boat at their disposal, but he's being ghosted by Ziaz, who gets an airstrike, a massive, from 80% down to 55. That airstrike hit him so hard. That Nova is now ghosting him. Dogmeat in a very sticky situation. He's going to try and stop the Cap, but he is not in a position to win this fight. All he's trying to do, I think, is interrupt them, and he loses an arm. The airstrike misses, but he's just trying to stop the Kappa from flipping, but he's unable to do so. His teammate, Ghost in the Artichita, is limping off. Is he lagged, or is he just slow? I think he's just slow. No, he's just being slow right now. He's watching over Hoop. He's getting a strike on Asterin, who has no clue that it's there. And a great strike across that Hunchback 2C. Good heads-up play by Ghost, dropping it right where it counts, doing quite a bit of damage to that Hunchback 2C, down to 68%. Back to the main body. Cafe, everybody's moved up now. They've taken that former Alpha Lance position. Cafe at 63%, though. Reckless in the Battlemaster 2C down to 53%.
Brawler mechs need to help D5 out here.
Theta now is falling. Aggressive. So while they lost the fight over Kappa, Ghost is able to move up now and try to flip Theta. He might get assailed, and Charlemagne goes down to Cafangs. That Supernova able to make a shot across at the Wolfhound, actually. That was the very hurt Wolfhound, but Dogmeat and the Wolfhound finally gets run down.
Zia's trying to make a play on that Cheetah, but he doesn't have the range, and he's not going to be able to chase down over open ground. He's going to take a lot of damage if he keeps pushing forward like this.
He was able to stop the Cap on Theta, though, keeping the tickets in favor of Dropship 5, at least for now. That was a big play by Ziaz, but he's getting
right now in the open,
for
and he can't return fire.
So while it did stop that Cap, he's now being chased off, so they might be able to go back in and get the Cap in with Kippers now. So while it did buy them some time, it did cost him quite a bit of armor. Everybody is just hurt as hell right now, and we might see a snowball effect very shortly here. Nova backing himself into the corner thinking he's going to get chased down, but they are able to flip Theta. Oh, they stopped it with the shots from that Hunchback 2C, but they're able to return some fire, and it will shortly flip in favor of Osiris. So they have it. Is it enough to win on a 3-2 cap at this point? It's almost up to 600 tickets now for Dropship 5. They might not be able to win with 3. Not able to do the math all that quickly, but Navid is just kind of staying passive, making sure they don't go in for Kappa. But Ghost is going to get a surprise here as the Nova is hiding in the corner.
Oh, but he's out of range.
Oh, Ghost smartly moving off into the distance, but he is going into the range of Navid. Looks like he is not going to make a move on it, though. But Ghost is going for Kappa, it looks like, but he's being ghosted by the Wolfhound. Looks like Ziaz came out of his hiding spot, and he's trying to run a pincer. Here we go. Light versus Light. Navid versus Ghost.
The leg is open on Ghost already.
He's actually trying to get away right now, which is probably...
And he might be headed back the wrong way. He might be headed towards... who is that over there with him?
The Hunchback 2C. He's going to get jumped by him. There's the shots, but he's pretty hurt. Can he come up with something? He blows... Oh, the leg is gone. The leg is gone. The right leg, he's protecting it. He is protecting the leg, and Asarin is trying to get away unscathed, but he's going to get hit.
He can't show his back like this. What is he doing?
The Nova gets taken down.
He's got him legged.
So one shot CT, and Ghost, well-legged, is able to take him out.
What a bad move.
Well, I think he was hoping to use his ER large lasers against a legged Arctic Cheetah, but...
absolutely pounded in the back while he was running away like that. I don't agree with that move at all.
Gamma is falling to the Wolfhound, so they're going to make an aggressive move up to Kappa to try and keep it alive, but this is not looking good for Osiris. They need to get 2 caps. They need a 4-1 decision at this point, or they will lose to caps. They cannot win with 3. So they're going to take Kappa. Looks like they're sending somebody up to Gamma. Theta is about to be pressured, but it might be too little too late. This is going to go in favor of Dropship 5 on caps. Smart play by Navid to get out of the fight, flip that cap, but too little too late, and D5 takes it.
The enemy has
even down. They took it 2-3. Winning it on caps. Smart heads-up play by Dropship 5, managing the clock really well. Everybody was hurt, and everybody got really passive right at the end. What an insane turn of events. And Dropship 5 staying alive, making it a 1-1 on the series.
Someone next match for D5 needs to find Kippers and needs to kill him. 757 damage, and that summoner remained alive. He is doing work over there.
Those guys are definitely beasts with those PPCs, just trading really, really well. The Hunchback 2C doing 670, which is fantastic as well. The Supernova 610 with 618 with Cafe. Battlemaster 2C though, Reckless held to 301. Brother Tibber pulling 501 in the Warhawk. He definitely did good last match as well. Ziaz and the Nova dying early on. Not early on, but in that little light fight there. He actually moved off and got killed by airlock. But still, him killing that that Hunchback 2C was definitely huge as well.
Yeah, honestly, I felt that whole time that in terms of combat, Osiris had the advantage. It felt like they had a little bit, well, obviously they had a little bit more damage, but it felt like they had the better positions. It felt like they had the better information.
Are they already doing the map banning? That was quick.
It looks like it.
All right. I guess we're going back to Tourmaline then. Surprise!
There we have it.
All right, that was very quick.
But like I said, it felt like Osiris had the advantage in maybe the combat, but Dropship 5 obviously paying a lot more attention to the caps this time, and you know, kind of the opposite of that. Osiris going for the kills, and D5 was able to stay alive long enough to win on the caps.
Absolutely, and they did get some of those key kills too on the Wolfhound
lights.
at the end
Yeah.
there. And then, of course, keeping Navid alive, getting him off to Gamma was pretty big. Good heads-up play by him, breaking off from that fight. Realizing
Cheetah certainly helps.
Yeah,
Probably should have killed him.
Ghost pulls off the kill on that other Hunchback, but being legged, though, cost them a lot of time, and that adds up really quickly. If Ghost got out of that fight with his legs, maybe it could have been a different fight. But Sigma was being very well protected, and then they would have had to have had an early answer to Gamma, but I don't think they even knew that Wolfhound headed up that way until they saw the cap essentially being flipped. So just a quick rundown on positioning. Once again, we've got Osiris now in Team 1 doing that fadeaway, working their way up. But D5 kind of staying back. Actually, they moved up to the shelf here with those summoners, and then kept their big boys back in E4. But they didn't go aggressively to Epsilon like we saw Osiris do. So they started their little trade war early on there. And then we saw... Man, what else did we see? There was so much going on. I know
A lot going on.
at some point Osiris made its way up to E4. They managed to move their way up there and force D5 back into like
back to the
defensive
ring.
positions.
Yeah.
Behind the ring even. It was back into like Fox 4, Fox 5, setting up their firing lines. But really a lot of that, the trading seemed secondary because there was a lot of fighting over Theta, but D5 able to make some big plays, preventing the recap of Theta for a very long time. Ziaz ducking himself back, but eventually Theta did switch over to Osiris control. But if you think about it, all of that harassment on Theta, and even Ziaz kind of costing his mech quite a bit of armor, it added up to that many more tickets in favor of D5. All of those plays added up to the point where a 3-2 decision for Osiris could no longer win them the game. This really came down to, you know, having a cap for 30 seconds more, really flipping the outcome of that battle. So that fight over Theta, all of the trading going on seemed relatively not pointless, but that's why
secondary to
it was
the
secondary.
ticket control there.
We didn't see a snowball. We didn't see a bunch of people start to die and then it was decided on kills. We didn't see that. We didn't see aggression. We saw everybody kind of loosely trading back and forth. Most of the action there was with the lights and the light fights and the pushes over Kappa, ultimately the rush to Gamma. We saw the effort over Theta, the prevention of Theta with the Nova, the prevention of Theta with the Hunchback 2C. All of that delay over Theta added up, and D5 then just managing the clock really well. D5 did not have to push aggressively into Osiris. And ultimately, D5 being back in that Fox 4 G4 region, they were able to... They actually killed the Wolfhound all the way back in G4 as he like tried to dive into the pit. So them holding this region prevented any sort of backcapping of Sigma and really kept this down to Epsilon Theta Kappa, because Gamma was relatively safe until Navid gets the sneak attack, moves his way up, grabs Gamma, and that is a very key play that close to the end of the match to flip it, to basically put it in favor of D5 solidly to the end. I mean, D5 had it from the beginning in terms of control and staying ahead on tickets, but they really sealed it there when they forced Osiris back into a 3-2 decision that late in the game. They let it bleed too long. And so all of the trading back and forth, while it was very exciting,
it was the light play.
It was the light play
Nova
and
that really was that whole game,
and the Theta plays that were huge. But
and also losing that streak Hunchback right at the beginning around Kappa. I mean, that allows D5 to do the light play that they were able to do to win that game.
So 1-1 on the series, and we're going right back in to Tourmaline Desert. We're back to the original side, so Cyrus should be up into the north area right now. I don't know why your pip is so delayed.
Gotta refresh it, maybe?
I did a few times. But we will work on that pip to try and make it as quick as possible. Hopefully we can make that a better tool for everyone. Hopefully at least you guys enjoy the dual perspectives. We'll definitely be watching the chat in the replay to see what everybody thinks. But here we go. All right, we've got Dropship 5 in the north. Sorry, that they were in the north last time, and then Osiris in the south side. So, fadeaway shots by those summoners yet again. A lot of shooting back and forth on the initial. Just some minor scratch at this range. Matt taking a little bit of hits there, down to 92. There's those ER large lasers yet again.
Yeah.
They're
and those initial trades,
right
you can really run up the heat right at the beginning. You can do a lot of damage.
So an aggressive move yet again by these summoners. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Get those summoners off to that Epsilon side. But we're going to have a bit of a fight here over Kappa. They're doing the same thing again. They got the Wolfhounds there. They're attempting to stop the Kappa, but they've got friends this time. Asarin and Ziaz overwatching. They really do not want to lose Kappa this time. A good streak shot into Charlemagne takes him down to 88%, but unlike last time, Kappa does fall in favor of Dropship 5. And
it looks like they're going to be maybe aggressive with this push. They realize it's ER larges on the Hunchback in Golf 6. I would be aggressive too if I were them.
Wildfire's got ER larges?
Yeah.
No, he's still got the streaks in ER large. That's the same build as last time. So he's still the streak
he's
boat.
He's still ER large. Okay.
He's still overwatching for his lights, but them bringing an extra mech, a little bit risky to commit this many mechs to Kappa, but they're gonna go for the full cap on it now. And the tickets start to go in favor of Dropship 5 right off the bat. No caps so far for Osiris. Airlock getting right in the face of Matt, though. He's doing some jumping up. Kipper is backing him up on the Spire. Love that decal in the back. Kip the Kippers in the Summoner, representing his name. Airlock going in. I would be interested to see if those two Summoners can maybe run over Airlock. They don't know he's there. He's going to get some really good shots in on Matt with that. Risky move, but still, it's paying off. Good airstrike, too. They got those summoners on the run. Yeah, and now they're getting hit by the ER larges as they start to retreat across. They took a lot of damage in that, so D5 suffering quite a bit, and they lost their position, so they've been kind of forced off from Epsilon. And now we can start seeing more caps starting to go in favor of Osiris. Cafe taking some hits there with that Battlemaster 2C. At that extreme range, just minor scratch, but it definitely adds up. Another strike coming out from Reckless. Looks like that's going to fall just short. Good attempt, though. So, Theta now being pressured by that wolf pack. They've got Dogmeat and Ghost going up to try and stop them, but that Street Crow is there. They're not going to be able to do it alone. They also got Asarin, so Ghost might have a pretty nasty surprise on this. He's getting a strike down. Theta did fall, and Zia's now pressuring with that. He's pressuring with those streaks, getting some hits in on Ghost, and the UAV gets quickly removed from play. Those lights can't really do much. D5 is controlling the field really well with that wolf pack. They've lost position on the summoners, but the wolf pack for Dropship 5, literally with the wolf hounds, it's a wolf pack.
Yeah, and it feels like right now D5 is absolutely playing that control game. It doesn't feel like they're pressing the engagement too much. Just trying to get Osiris kind of uncomfortable enough that they don't hard push to try and take territory away, and instead run around with those Wolfpack, the lights and the Stormcrow, and try and see what you could do to hold the territory.
Dogmeat's gonna get streaks! Oh man, he's in a bad position. He's getting scratched. Looks like he might be committing to him. But so those streaks are definitely adding up, hitting Dogmeat pretty hard. He's getting charged now by Charlemagne, but they are smartly holding up, allowing Dogmeat to go, because otherwise he would have been going right into a hail of fire from these Battlemasters. And a good strike right across Reckless. That was a fantastic strike coming from, I believe, Snap Style in that Warhawk. I noticed that they didn't put Odinsteed in for this one. They switched somebody out. So somebody else came in for Dropship 5 because might have been having issues, but they got Snap up there in the Warhawk. Might have been Asarin maybe coming in for him in that Hunchback 2C.
No, Azarin's been in the games there.
Huh. So we've got that Wolfpack now going back to capture Sigma. They're going to try and secure the victory via caps again, or at least really push Osiris. Osiris, if they see Sigma start going, I think their only option is to push aggressively, and it looks like they're getting themselves into a position to be able to do so.
Yeah,
they out-mech them. They out-mech D5. If they can win this fight, they're seeing Sigma cap now. They might call the push on this. They need to be aggressive. They out-ton them in this region, but D5 though has a lot of really good firing lanes here.
And it looks like they are going to be aggressive up top. Got the summoner out there. Gas is about to get back shots on that summoner.
The Wolfpack is coming in behind Ill and the Summoner. They're actually going to move all the way up to the top to try and harass Brother Tibber, but definitely an aggressive push by Osiris. Those Lights and the Stormcrow are still traversing the field. They've got a ways to go, but the clock is ticking. Osiris needs to get their shots downfield. Ghost takes down that Summoner. 85% left on him, so it was definitely a good victory, but here come those Lights.
The other Summoner, Matt, is Cord CT as well.
They don't have much more time to play this. This is essentially a penalty box here for the Lights. They need to stack up more kills before those Lights arrive, and they're just now getting into the fight. Ghost doing some work against Matt, down to 26%, and he gets the kill. Ghost is definitely doing some good, but here comes the Wolfpack into the backside of that Hunchback 2C Wolverine. The time is up. Kippers takes down Brother Kipper.
Goes down as well.
Brother Tipper, but they do take down that Wolverine. The Wolfpack now coming in on the backside, and everybody needs to turn around and handle these guys now. But they definitely have the tonnage in their favor. Dogmeat coming around behind, getting some shots in on the Wolfhound. Zia's in that Street Crow, going right down the middle. He's not going for the Lights. He's instead trying to take down those Battle Masters, but he's down to 48%. He gets Cafe, and they get the other as well. Reckless goes down. It's starting to even up here. Ziaz with those streaks starting to do work on Wildfire. He's got Charlemagne right on his backside. While this is happening, there's another fight. Snap Style down to 57%, being pressured by those two Wolfhounds, and he gets the back shot. Ghost scoring yet another kill on a very key target, but the two Summoners, Airlock and Kippers, just standing there wailing on the Wolfpack, who finished their job on this end but are now pulling away to try and flip Theta for the 4-1 cap advantage. Those Summoners are going to have to get involved. 4 mechs to 3 in favor of Osiris, but caps definitely in favor of Dropship 5, both tickets and caps. Those Summoners need to get moving very quickly here, or this is going to once again go in favor of D5. We are seeing Dogmeat and the Wolfhound heading to Kappa. That's going to be pretty big. Navid is staying towards the middle of the map, but I think they're withdrawing him. Did he get legged?
He just got legged.
He just got legged by Airlock. A very clutch shot. That is huge. Airlock coming in. I think Ziaz might be, well, he's still alive, but that is a huge leg there. And Airlock takes out Ziaz. Kipper's coming in fresh. Kappa is falling to that Wolfhound, who actually has his leg, but Navid's going to try and just be a turret at this point. Charlemagne trying to back his way off. 611 tickets, but this is swung very well in favor of Osiris.
By Airlock is huge.
Navid is just keeping them off of Theta as long as he can, but Kappa got neutralized. Navid is trying to work his way back, maybe to protect Sigma.
Charlemagne needs to cap.
But there goes Theta. This is gonna swing in favor of Osiris, sorry. With the 3 cap to 1 now, should be enough with Theta flipping to seal the deal. Sigma should not be enough on its own. Charlemagne doubling back to sneak Kappa, but Kipper's then working his way towards Sigma with Dogmeat. I don't think Kappa will be enough if Sigma falls. And wow, Osiris coming out strong. Clutch shot by Airlock, killing the leg of that Wolfhound, slowing down the capping process significantly.
Yeah, that legging that Wolfhound changed the composition of that battle completely.
It's definitely not over yet, but Kappa now is going to be pressured by Ghost, and Ghost is on a freaking tear right now. Charlemagne versus Ghost. This is going to seal the deal if Ghost can put him down, and he does!
And he does.
And that is it! Osiris is taking Game 3 for a 2-1 victory over Dropship 5 in the semifinals. What
a
an
round.
insane
The enemy has
match.
tapped enough resources. We've failed.
All 3 of those drops were down to the wire every time. That is awesome.
Oh, that was such a fun match to cast right there. Oh, Airlock pulling 687 in a kill. Kipper's 621. Those summoners were allowed to do some work. But Ghost pulling 4 kills in that Wolfhound. Only 337, but he was landing those shots where it counted. And he was on a tear for sure. Snapstyle pulling 558 in the Warhawk with those PPCs. Everybody else doing pretty moderate damage. Not terrible damage, though, but some
Airlock
big plays
with the
at the end
top
there.
damage of the game and the clutch shot to leg the Wolverine there.
He didn't
wins
even
it.
get the kill, but that's a kill in my book, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's all that matters. The
What
leg on
an exciting
Navid
one.
just cripples D5's chances to keep the cap wins up with those 2 Wolfhounds.
I mean, they
And
might have been
Navid
able
was
to keep it
fresh.
alive.
Other than that leg, he was fresh, barely touched.
He was Navid, though, even still, after being legged, was still able to keep harassing at Theta and just try to get his team as much time as possible. He bought them quite a bit of time at Theta, but then once Airlock shows up, or really gets in there, well, Airlock was on Theta, but they ended up able to swarm him and take him out and finish him off, and then eventually Theta flips over, but wow, what a match. What a match.
Yeah, I mean, Navid did a great job when he got legged of trying to basically distract, use the terrain to stay alive as long as he can. But, you know, after getting legged, his effectiveness just was, you know, completely. I mean, he did a good job, but compared to what he could have been able to do with both legs, it's not even, you know, that it doesn't matter. I mean, he did a good job there, but that clutch shot by Airlock, I believe, won that for Osiris.
What an exciting series for sure. So 228 versus SJR. 228 is